We've all been there, right? You hit a setback, a failure, maybe a goal you just didn't reach. And what happens in that moment, right after you fall? Well, that's what really defines everything that comes next. The real question is, do we get stuck looking back, or do we actually find a way to move forward?
Just think about it for a second. When something goes sideways, what is your gut instinct? Do you try to logically review what happened? Like a detective looking for clues. Or do you get caught in that awful, painful loop of regret? Now, they can feel pretty similar on the surface, but one is a springboard forward, and the other? It's just an anchor holding you down.
So let's look at a real story. This is about a woman who took a massive, terrifying leap of faith. Just a year ago, she walked away from a stable teaching career to start her own business. And in her own words, she was afraid and doubted myself. I mean, who wouldn't be? She was wondering if she could really, truly make it on her own. But get this, fast forward just 1 year. The same woman who was filled with fear is now traveling with her family for a whole month, enjoying this incredible new freedom. She's not only smashed a major business goal, but she's already set her sights on an even bigger one. So what on earth happened? How did she pull off that kind of shift? What is the secret sauce here? What takes someone from a state of fear and self-doubt to freedom and achievement in just 12 months? I'll tell you this much, it's not just about working harder or putting in more hours. It's about a fundamental, deep-down shift in your mindset. And here's where so many of us get tripped up. We tell ourselves we're just, logically reviewing a failure so we can learn from it. But what are we actually doing? More often than not, we're just engaging in this really destructive cycle of self-attack. We're blaming ourselves, we're blaming other people, we're blaming fate or bad luck. It feels productive, like we're problem-solving. But really, it's a complete trap. And that gets to the absolute heart of the problem. Regret, no matter how much you think it's justified, is a low-energy state, period. And when you're in that state, you simply do not have the fuel to create, to solve problems, or to move forward. It's like trying to drive a car with an empty gas tank. You can sit there and turn the key all you want. You're not going anywhere.
Okay, so this brings us to this incredibly powerful idea called the energy principle. Here it is. The real key to progress isn't a perfect, rational analysis of your past mistakes. It's about managing your energy, right here in the present moment. High energy, that's what enables progress. It opens you up to new solutions. But low energy, the kind that comes from regret and self-attack, it leads directly to stagnation.
So how do we do that? How do we practically manage our energy? Well, it literally starts with the questions we ask ourselves. Just look at the energy difference here. Asking, why did I fail, keeps us stuck looking backward. And you can just feel your energy plummet. But if you switch that question to, how can I succeed? Bam, it immediately points you toward the future, and your energy level just naturally rises. It's such a simple switch, but the impact is huge. What this really means is that we have to shift our focus entirely. We have to stop digging around in the rubble of the problem, because guess what? The answers aren't there. The inspiration, the creativity, the unexpected solutions, you find those by focusing intensely on the goal ahead. Okay, so how do we actually put this into practice? This isn't just a theory. There's a really practical system for this called the growth cycle. And it's designed specifically to get you into that high energy state. It has 4 steps: vow, pray, entrust, and forgive. Let's break them down. Step 1 is to vow. This is all about persisting in wanting your goal with this fierce, firm resolve. Even when you have absolutely no idea how you're going to get there, you hold on to that intention. For the teacher in our story, this was that moment she decided, I am doing this. Despite all the fear, she made a vow to build a new life. She didn't have the map, but that vow, that was her unshakable commitment. Step 2 is to pray. Now, this isn't necessarily about religion. It's about making a conscious choice to connect with some source of unconditional support, whether you call it God, the universe, love, your higher self, whatever. It's this active choice to tap into a force that's bigger than your own worries so you can refill your energy. You can just imagine the teacher facing her doubts, making that choice to believe that things could work out, that help would show up. Step 3 is to entrust. So once you've connected to that source of support, you basically hand over everything you can't control. This is where our teacher would have let go of all those what ifs. What if I can't pay my bills? What if I made a huge mistake? Instead of fighting those thoughts, she entrusted them. She handed them over. And that freed up her mind to focus on the work she could actually do.
And finally, step 4, forgive. This is the big one. This is where you release all judgment on yourself for messing up, on others, on the whole situation. You deliberately stop getting tangled up in all that negativity. For our teacher, this meant forgiving herself for any stumbles along the way and releasing any blame for her past. This is the final step that breaks the cycle of self-attack and frees up all that wasted energy to build her new reality.
So when you put it all together, you realize that success is really about balancing two halves of an equation. First, there's the known part. That's your effort, your actions, your planning. That's the hard work you have to do. But then there's the unknown part, and that requires deep trust. Trust in future outcomes, trust in unexpected help, trust in those moments of inspiration you could never, ever plan for. Our teacher put in the work for sure, but her real transformation happened when she learned to trust this second half too.
So let's just completely reframe how we see the past. From now on, its only useful purpose is to be a trigger. That's it. When you feel that sting of a past failure bubble up, it's not a signal to go back and dwell on what went wrong. It is simply a reminder, a little alarm bell, to turn your attention right back where it belongs, on your goal.
So I'll leave you with this question. The next time a memory of failure pops into your head, what are you going to do? Are you going to let it drain your energy with regret? Or are you going to use it as a trigger, as a powerful reminder to focus, to trust, and to move forward? How will you use your past to focus your future?